Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Tracking Melissa. Just after 3 a.m., the storm made landfall in Cuba. A look at the storm's path and what it left behind in Jamaica.
And for us this morning, we're still dealing with some patchy rain. I'll show you why it won't be as heavy today, but our next weather maker that brings us some rain overnight. I'll show you how much we could see.
A father accused of murder. A Johnston County man is accused of killing his 4 children. The new information we're expecting to get today from investigators.
Plus, fixing the DMV. Today, the agency's commissioner will face questions about the problems the agency has been going through, but what lawmakers hope to change about how it operates. We have reached the 6 a.m. hour here on your Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on WRAL News. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Renee Chu. So much news to talk about and weather as well. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A similar start to yesterday, but the rain not as widespread or heavy.
We do have that coastal low that brought us all that rain yesterday moving away from us. It is still going to help to send us some showers this morning, but it won't be, as Renee said, nearly as heavy. Just light and patchy, mainly along and east of I-95. We've had a few showers as far west as Wake County. So as you head out the door in the triangle, you're probably going to run into wet streets and you may see some drizzle or some patchy light rain. We're seeing some of that from Smithfield up toward Rocky Mount. Our next weather maker is coming across the Mississippi and it will bring us rain overnight. It won't last as long. It may be a little heavier, but briefly there could be a few rumbles of thunder. And we'll walk you through that on Futurecast coming up. Before this morning, it's a 40% chance, a 30% chance later on this afternoon. We take a look at the legislative building. The camera lens is wet. The sidewalks are wet. It's messy out there again. We have a north wind at 7 and our temperature is at 49. Our temperatures this afternoon don't get much warmer. Just like yesterday, it'll be gray, a little drizzly with mid-50s. So some drizzle this morning during the morning commute. It'll be pretty quiet for the afternoon and evening, but then we'll have another round of rain before tomorrow morning. I'll show you what time it moves out. But first, I'll send it over to meteorologist Chris Michaels to talk about the latest with Melissa.
Yeah, we're just starting to get a picture of what things are looking like in Jamaica after this historic landfall. It was a Category 5 as it made landfall yesterday around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The only storm that ever came close to that was Gilbert in 1988. New this morning while you were asleep at 3:10, it made another landfall in Cuba as a Category 3 storm, and it continues to move quickly off toward the north. You see the land kind of disrupting it a little bit. And in addition to that, some wind shear that's going to tear it apart and move it farther to the north. All morning long, we're going to talk about why it stayed so strong for so long. That's coming up in just a bit. In the meantime, Ken, look at the local roads. Things still pretty damp.
Yeah, still some damp road conditions out there, as indicated by this live traffic cam shot. I-40 and Wade Avenue, those are the westbound lanes moving away from us. You can see traffic beginning to pick up nicely, but flowing nicely in all directions. And similarly, we're not seeing very little to no delays on any of our major routes. Just a 1-minute delay if you're coming in from Nightdale this morning. We just have this crash icon pop up onto the screen. I'll check it out and let you know if it's going to affect your morning commute. You're head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Today, we're expecting to get new information about the deaths of 4 children in Johnston County. Authorities say their father admitted to killing them. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live outside the Johnston County Sheriff's this morning. And Kelsey, we expect to get an update later this morning about this tragedy. We cover a lot of tragedies on our newscast, but this one hits hard.
Yes, Renee, it certainly does. And we are expecting to learn new information from the Johnston County Sheriff's Office in just a few hours here. Our cameras were there as Wellington Dickens III had his first court appearance yesterday. He's facing murder charges after confessing to killing 3 of his children and his stepson. When deputies arrived at his home on Springtooth Drive in Zebulon, Dickens said his 3-year-old son was still alive, but the 4 other children were dead inside the trunk of a car. Deputies believe the children have been dead since May 1st. Neighbors say Dickens changed significantly since his wife died during childbirth last year, but they never expected that such a heinous crime could happen right next door.
It's been nerve-wracking. It's been emotional because children were involved and stuff, and it just have taken a toll to know that that had happened near me.
Just a heartbreaking situation here. The sheriff's office is scheduled to have a news conference this morning at 10 o'clock. We'll have a crew there to keep you updated on that. And Dickens is also scheduled to appear in court again later today. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Johnston County.
And this morning in the WRAL Live Center, we are keeping an eye on the latest updates from Hurricane Melissa. It made landfall on Cuba earlier this morning as a Category 3 storm, but it made landfall in Jamaica as a Category 5 storm yesterday. I want to show you some video of the international airport in Jamaica. This is the departure lounge. This just giving you an idea of the damage and destruction that Jamaica is dealing with after that storm. Emergency services there have begun clearing debris and really just assessing the damage left behind. St. Elizabeth Parish reported to be underwater. Jamaica's prime minister declaring the whole island a disaster area. Also this morning, Facebook from Franklin Graham from Samaritan's Purse. He says that they are on the way. They work with more than 250 church partners there. They've been through storms before, but this one was the strongest ever to hit the island. So fatalities have already been reported, 7 fatalities from this storm. Laura Levine is at RDU. Some people stuck, 25,000 tourists still stuck on that island, some from our area. Laura.
Michelle, good morning. We are hearing from so many North Carolinians that have been riding out Melissa in Jamaica, hoping to get on that first flight out. Here at RDU this morning, you will not find a single flight heading to Jamaica or coming from the island. So we did catch back up with Bridget and Wayne Todd, the couple celebrating their anniversary on the island. They're from Halifax County, and Bridget gave us a look at how they're hunkering down in their resort room with mattresses blocking doors and windows. They even have a pallet in the bathroom with a tub filled up with water.
Sunday on the 26th was when we tried to leave here. We had a 2 o'clock flight, and the airport ended up closing by noon, so our flight was immediately canceled. And so that was a little frustrating because the weather appeared nice that day and even half the day yesterday. So we're kind of confused as to why they couldn't have got more people out sooner.
Yeah, so many people hoping to get off the island as soon as possible. Looking at some of the damage this morning, however, you can see that it will likely take some time. Now, I did reach back out to the Todd family this morning, and so as soon as we hear from them and see how they were able to make out through the night, we will be sure to update you. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live at RDU.
Happening today in Raleigh, we're expecting to learn more about the state of operations at the DMV. This comes after months of long wait times and the push from state leaders to fix it. State lawmakers will be questioning transportation officials during a hearing today, including DMV Commissioner Paul Tyne. You may remember he took over the top job this summer after the former commissioner resigned. Officials from the state auditor's office are also expected to testify recent recommended changes to some of the problems they found. WRAL state government reporter Will Doran says that the audit points to staffing as a key issue.
They found in a series of audits that workers are overworked, the offices are understaffed, and that is part of the reason why we have these long lines. DMV officials have said that they've made lots of improvements in the past several months, including more options for people to renew online and skip that physical line to get their licenses renewed.
New Transportation Secretary Daniel Johnson is also expected to go before the committee focused on government efficiency. You can read a preview of the hearing and get updates later today on WRAL.com.
On the Outer Banks, more homes are at risk of falling into the ocean today. Just yesterday, 5 homes were brought down. We're talking about high winds and powerful waves being responsible for this collapse. Since September, more than a dozen homes have fallen into the ocean. Roads have been covered with water and sand, and that is making it difficult for people to drive on them. WRAL spoke to Jennifer Kuntz. She's a photographer who lives in that area, and she says she witnessed firsthand the homes coming down yesterday.
And I stood there and watched that one get completely broken up. The sounds of glass breaking and the house crunching, it's almost like traumatic at this point. If you hear debris clanking together while you're waiting for a house to fall, it's almost traumatizing because you're like, which one just fell?
Parts of Highway 12 have been shut down overnight because of waves and overwash, and leaders are encouraging people who live along the highway to stay home and avoid driving.
The countdown is on. We are now just 100 days until the Milan Olympics. On February 6th, athletes from around the world will be competing in the Winter Games. And coming up on Today, the countdown kicks into high gear. The Today Show will have a live update from Milan on final preparations. And Mike Tirico will join the team in New York. They will talk about the dozens of Team USA athletes and Team USA hopefuls.
The time is 6:09. Suing for SNAP. The North Carolina Attorney General is going to court to have federal dollars released for the program. How the government shutdown could affect food benefits for families across our state.
And recovery in Jamaica. We are getting some of our first looks at the devastation on the island from Hurricane Melissa. We'll show you the hard-hit areas.
And a few light showers out there for you this morning, especially for the Triangle area eastward. Our next weather maker brings us an increased chance of rain overnight. I'll walk you through it on Futurecast coming up.
And we do have your winning Mega Millions numbers right here on your screen. 2, 19, 33, 53, 61. The gold mega ball is 14.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
.13, just a little bit of light patchy rain showing up mainly along and east of I-95. This is sort of the remnants of that coastal low that was with us yesterday. It's pulling away from us, so we won't see as much rain today. But a second system, our next weather maker, will push some rain in overnight tonight, but it won't last nearly as long. What we'll see today is just some light patchy rain on and off, really at any point. 40% chance this morning, a 30% chance this afternoon before that rain arrives tonight. So it is fairly damp out right now. We take a look down the street in Lewisburg toward the Tar River, and you can see the streets are on the wet side. Our temperatures are chilly. 40s for Durham and Roxborough. It's 51 in Goldsboro, but 48 in Cary. And it's going to be chilly like it was yesterday. If you're going to be out and about during the afternoon, our temperatures only climb up into the mid-50s. Coming up, we're going to talk more about what's happening in the tropics. Ken?
Elizabeth, weather and traffic every 10 minutes. A couple of incidents I want to bring your attention to this morning. First of all, this crash on Hammond Road, not far from the Beltline. We're not seeing any delays in the area, but if that's part of your morning commute, just know you see some police activity as well. We also have Cary Police working this crash on Harrison Avenue, southbound near St. Charles Place, not far from Maynard Road. Again, we're not seeing any police, any delays in the area, but be mindful of police officers working that scene. But really, relatively to no delays of all of major routes heading into the capital city right now. You're heading into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
We know you're staying on top of it, Ken. We are also staying on top of the government shutdown, now entering day 29. And now a judge is blocking the Trump administration from laying off certain federal employees. The U.S. District Judge granted federal employee unions' request for a preliminary injunction. This follows a pause on layoffs put in place nearly 2 weeks ago by the same judge. It prohibits any new layoff notices and pauses any existing ones for federal workers represented by several unions. However, the order does not cover notices that were sent to employees before the shutdown.
The North Carolina Attorney General is suing the Trump administration. Jeff Jackson wants the government to release $6 billion in emergency funding. Here on WRAL, we have reported on how the loss of SNAP benefits could affect more than 1 million North Carolinians. If you are on SNAP, we have resources to food banks on our website, WRAL.com.
A Raleigh social services group is furloughing more than 250 people in North Carolina. The East Coast Migrant Head Start Project filed notices at a dozen locations, including Wake County. The project works with families of migrant workers. The suspension of Head Start grant money is tied to the federal government shutdown. Workers are expected to return once the government reopens.
Construction is happening at RDU as we're giving you a look at the work that's happening at Terminal 2. This is the video from yesterday at gates C8 and C10. They're blocked off as the airport prepares to expand its international facilities and its security spaces. Airport management says this is part of several projects to enhance the airport experience. And changes could be coming to the Pinehurst traffic circle. The state DOT is considering adding an extra road within the circle. This would also come with new traffic signals to help coordinate traffic. In fact, DOT spent 20 years studying the area and potential improvements, and it's taking feedback for the next few weeks before finalizing its plan.
As we follow the track of Hurricane Melissa, we are getting a look at the damage left behind in Jamaica. This is the southwestern city of Black River. The damage is so extensive there that the police station is being used as a temporary shelter. Officials say this is a tough time for the island.
Jamaica has gone through what I can call one of its worst periods. Our infrastructure has been severely compromised. St. Elizabeth is the breadbasket of the country, and that has taken a beating. The entire Jamaica has felt the brunt of Melissa.
The hurricane is already to blame for at least 7 deaths in the Caribbean.
And actually, that was one of the things we were talking about this morning in our social media videos that we put up there, Chris, talking a little bit about the hurricane and the effects that it's already seen in Jamaica. I mean, it's just really sad to see the impact there.
You know, and this is for a country that parts of it are well built for hurricanes, right? But when you have 185-mile-per-hour winds, that's going to take over any kind of building code. And it was the strongest landfalling hurricane on record in the Atlantic, tied for that. The other thing that was really, I don't want to say interesting, but really stands out about this storm is that it spent 34 straight hours as a Category 5 storm. Imagine sprinting during a marathon. That's basically what this storm did. Usually storms will try to conserve energy, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But what might have happened is the ocean water was warm and then the air above it cooled at night, allowing storms to strengthen around the center, creating more instability, and it could have allowed it to actually strengthen prior to landfall. Right now on WRAL.com, I'm talking about why this storm defied the odds prior to its landfall in Jamaica. And coming up at 6:30, we'll show you where the storm is headed. Elizabeth?
Boy, of course, what happened along the coast yesterday was not related to Melissa, but once again, we saw this. 5 more homes fell into the ocean in Buxton, which is, of course, Hatteras Island. So far this year, we've seen more than a dozen of these homes falling in. We just keep seeing one after another of these coastal lows. That's what brought us the rain yesterday. And of course, there may be as many as 3 more of these homes that could be in danger of falling in the next few days. Look at that overwash on Highway 12. This is all video from yesterday. And take a look at the impacts through today. They still have a high surf advisory with waves up to 7 feet to 10 feet. There's a coastal flood warning for 1 to 2 feet of inundation, 1 to 2 feet of flooding. And of course, they're seeing overwash on Highway 12. And so parts of that are closed. There goes that low. It is moving away. And you can see it moving off screen there. Still a little bit of rain lingering with that for us today. But our next weather maker is crossing the Mississippi. This is not likely to cause as many problems along the coast. And it will move through here fairly quickly overnight tonight. A little bit of light patchy rain from, say, Goldsboro all the way up the I-95 corridor. A little bit of patchy rain that's falling here across Wake County as well. You're most likely going to run into wet conditions anywhere you are this morning, but it's mainly just going to be some light patchy drizzle. We saw a good bit of rain yesterday, widespread 1 inch totals, and then we saw as much as 1.5 inches to almost 2 inches in some other parts of the viewing area, and it was certainly much needed rain. It was definitely good to see that. This is a look at our next weather maker. We'll follow along here on Futurecast. We see a band of rain that comes through overnight and moves out of here pretty quickly for tomorrow. We'll check that out here on Futurecast. At 5 o'clock today, the rain is going to be very light and patchy. That's midnight. And then very early tomorrow morning, we see a line of showers that rolls through. And then after that, it is over and we'll see more sunshine during the day tomorrow. And temperatures should start to warm up a little bit as well. We take a look at what we're expecting in terms of rainfall for tonight. It's probably going to be only around 1/4 inch. In Lewisburg, we're seeing some wet conditions right now. Windy conditions too, but not as windy as yesterday. 5 to 10 right now. We'll see winds gusting for today up to around 25 miles per hour. Later on tomorrow afternoon, we see some sunshine, and then it looks much nicer for trick-or-treating and for the weekend. Trick-or-treat forecast is likely to be mainly in the low to mid 50s, and our high will be in the 60s. So much improvement coming by tomorrow and Friday.
Absolutely looking forward to that. And as you look forward to get on out the door, here's a live look at a southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us. You can see traffic picking up just a little bit. As far as crashes are concerned, we just have one in Cary right there on not far from Maynard Road. The other one here in Raleigh, not on Hammond Road, not far from the Beltline. But really and truly, we're not seeing very little to no delays on all of our major routes coming into the capital city. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Digital estate planning. 5 on Your Side explains how you can protect your online presence after you are gone.
And measles concerns. America is at risk of losing its elimination status for the virus. The numbers driving that conversation. An ongoing measles outbreak in the U.S. could threaten the country's status of eliminating the virus. Canada has already lost its status as the country has made more than 5,000 reported cases in the last year. And in the U.S., the CDC reported more than 1,600 cases this year. There are multiple criteria for gaining and losing elimination status. This includes vaccination rates and having ongoing transmission for a full year. The U.S. officially eliminated measles back in 2000.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
The return of Twilight and a new Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah, we got Ken Smith here this morning now with What's Trending.
So listen, all 5 Twilight movies are returning to theaters this weekend for the 20th anniversary of Stephanie Meyer's first book, and just in time for Halloween, of course. The first film returns today and will run through November 6th.
And the sequels will roll out tomorrow through Sunday. 20 years ago, a very young Renee was a big Twihard. I read the books, I saw the movies, and to this day, I'm still Team Edward.
Okay, I was just about to ask that question.
The vampire. Yeah.
Yes, people are definitive about that. So listen, a newly discovered Dr. Seuss book will be released just in time for America's 250th birthday. It's called Seeing the 50 United States, and of course, featuring the Cat in the Hat. It will be released in June of next year.
And if you're wondering, why is this new Dr. Seuss book coming out? Well, the manuscript was discovered earlier this year at UC San Diego, and people have been working hard to finish it, and looks like you'll be able to get that soon.
New generation will take care of the Cat in the Hat.
Well, when you put things to song, then you can recite things. So that's a smart way to do it. Ken, thank you.
All right, Elizabeth?
And we're looking at another day with just some patchy light rain. It's not going to feel exactly like yesterday, but we don't get back to sunny skies and warmer temperatures until later in the week. I'll show you when.
Father accused of murder. A Johnson County man is charged in the death of his 4 children. What we know about the case as we're pushing law enforcement for more information.
Tracking Melissa, a Halifax County couple was in Jamaica as a hurricane hit the island. How the couple is trying to get home after the storm.